Hey man, do you remember we wanted to do similar sort of a thing back in 2020, 2021, where we wanted to name our podcast CCP or, well, Triple CP, just not to strike a copyright? It
Yeah, and
wouldn't have been a copyright much, would have been a bigger problem, but yeah.
we saw a
And
movie, we saw
yeah,
Hera Fairy,
we
and we
saw.
never actually made a video about it.
Yeah, man, we wasted so much fucking time as teenagers. Were we even teenagers?
No, I'm pretty sure you'd already lost your hair by then.
Cannot say the same for my virginity, but anyways. uh, what's up, YouTube? This is us. This is light roasted. This is light roasted. What? Remind
Light
me.
roasted lifts. Are we
Light
just
roasted
taking my
lifts.
brand
Yeah.
name?
Yeah. This is light roasted lifts. We are joined by my esteemed colleague and expert, not doctor, but a friend.
Soon to be doctor.
Soon to be doctor. That's not true. We're just kidding. But this is Anwes. This is Anwes Panda, and myself. I'm K Gopal Krishna. We're starting a brand new podcast called Light Roasted Lifts. I guess that's what we're calling it, but let that be the code name for now, anyways. So how do we start this podcast? Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Anvesh?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you introduce yourself and then I'll sort of take it over from there.
Okay, sure. Um, Introductions are crazy weird, man. I want to say I'm a storage guy, but that's just what I do at my job. But I want to say that I'm some sort of a DevOps Linux guy, but that's also what I just love doing. But I guess if I had to describe myself, I would just say I'm just somebody who loves tinkering around, and I like finding new tools to fit in my workflow and somehow shoehorn one in so that it replaces two others, and while one does not work, I fall back to the two that previously I was using, yeah, something like that. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is I love tinkering around, and I love coming across problems, and I love trying to solve them. uh, I It might also be that I just love saying that because I haven't actually solved a single software-ish problem, a software-ish meaning app-ish problem that I could have solved, but I just cry about it anyways. And uh, this whole thing about solving the shit that you come across, it's something that randomly, not randomly, well, it came up to me the other day. I was watching Kidzey's talk on how GitHub stars won't pay your rent. You can check that out. It's React Day Berlin conference. He gave an amazing talk there. So, and the guy just keeps on saying that how, well, you need to get your shit together, and fucking around in your computer, having like applying different themes, going around rising. Not that rising is bad, but if that's all you do, it's not going to pay your rent. It's not going to bring you money. And I just saw that, and just looking at that, saw that, and I thought, fuck, that guy is right. Um, yeah, he's not only right in the rent part, which is obviously true, but more so in the sense that if I come across a tool that does not fix my problems, I have to fix it somehow, and I have to fix my own share of problems. And I cannot rely on the possibility that somebody in somewhere in America or anywhere in the world is going to come up with a new SaaS, come up with a new some sort of a product that's going to magically spawn one morning and it's going to solve my problem to and fits in the list of requirements that I exactly need out of it. To put it simply, I'm just trying to figure out my own shit, and I need to fix my own shit. And while I do that, I want to have fun. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy it. I want to solve my own shit, and I want to enjoy it. And that's what kind of brings us to this podcast. We both love tinkering, and we both share a similar set of requirements. And guilty as charged, but we've both been too lazy to go out there and have fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I mean, case in point about us being lazy, it took us, what, 4 years to start a podcast, to just sit together and have a discussion. Um, Introductions, I agree with you. I think it's very difficult to sort of describe yourself and to describe your entire essence of sort of being in just a few words. Um, I like how you basically chickened out of it and you described yourself as a way of, as a sort of selection of things that you do rather than like sort of collection of thoughts that you have or something like that. So I'll just do the same thing. Um, I'm a freelance developer. I am currently working on some FileMaker projects. I like FileMaker, I love FileMaker, but I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to building tech products. What gives me my high is sort of bridging the gap between a client's idea and its technical realization. So I guess the only other part of this introduction is why did I decide to do this podcast, right? I know where you decided to do it, finally after 4 years, but why did I decide to do it? I think it's a far easier question to answer because we both have been wanting to do something. We both just want to do um, a little bit more productive work with our time, and both of us have a different multitude of reasons to want to do this. But I think one of the reasons we're doing it together with you and me is because we're both pretty shit at talking to cameras. I mean, it's so fucking awkward when you just sit down and you're trying to have a conversation with nobody. And it's even more difficult when you're starting out because you know that you don't really have an audience yet. There's that nobody in the camera is really literally nobody. You're talking to nobody. So I think doing it together sort of greatly reduces the entry barrier for video recording. So yeah, I think that this podcast is a good idea to at least keep us honest to ourselves, if nothing else. Um, so yeah, I think that that's pretty much all about me and the podcast. Oh, before I forget, I know this is going to lean a little bit into my into sort of a self plug into my coffee channel, but light roasted Indian, by the way. But I thought you could start the podcast with a tradition of like, what are we drinking? If you have a coffee with you right now, maybe you could just take a sip and sort of talk about the coffee, and then we begin with all the tech talk.
so it's 16:38 when we are recording, and if I have coffee, I can't sleep. So fuck
That's,
you.
I
Anyways,
mean, I
uh,
still have coffee with me.
damn. Okay, this guy is just made different. I had a medium roast today. I've Anvesha somehow convinced me to drink black coffee, and I had a pineapple fermented coffee called Barbara Estate from Shelby's. It's this shop in Connaught Place that me and my girlfriend found. It's pretty great, and I'm warming up to the taste of black coffee. What are you drinking?
A very light roasted coffee. It also does taste like pineapple. The most like taste note that I get is definitely pineapple. It's very fermented, so there's just those really acidic sort of um, sour candy tastes that you get. So pineapple, strawberry, all of those things. I don't remember the exact name of the estate or anything. It's from Blue
Right.
Tokai. I think it's called. It's a different type of processing that they did with this one. I have a video of it on of making it on my YouTube, but I forgot the name of it honestly. But it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, no worries. Oh, cool, cool, cool. So let's address the elephant in the room. What is a hypertrophy app? What's a hypertrophy app? So I'm sure we've all, now not okay, not all, but most of us anyways. We go to the gym, we carry a piece of paper, we write our sets, we write our reps, we write the load, and well, we go home and forget about the paper. We come back next week, and if you have the paper, then that's good. If you don't have the paper, well, We don't have the paper, and we can do whatever we want. It's a new day, new beginning, right? Am I right? So
Yeah.
yeah. So every week is week one. Why not, right? Every week is week one. Baby reps only. Yeah. So I have had this attitude that for a while, that if I have to log workouts, I can do it in Excel. If I have to log my weight, I can do it in Excel. Arguably, I can do the weight part in Excel, but workouts. And that's how I have been doing it for the past almost a year, I think. However, I think that Excel doesn't have the prettiest UI when I'm on my phone. Excel is a lot of manual work. Well, you have to uh, keep sliding, scrolling to the exact row, to the exact column, and you have to scroll back to see the exact sets and reps that you did last week. And if I were to automate it, I frankly don't know how. And to do it on Excel, it feels like a gargantuan task, because I would have to go through the same UI. I would have to deal with the same sort of fragileness, and I would just be making something more complicated than it actually is. Um, Apart from Excel, I have also tried to do this in Notion. Notion does not even let you drag rows or cells down to pre-fill incremented numbers. So what I mean is, if you have 12, 06, 13, 06, 14, 06, if you drag it down, nothing happens. Far more simple example is if you have 1, 2, 3, and if you drag it, nothing happens. So Notion was a no-go because it would make it even more difficult than Excel. Obsidian is fine. Obsidian is something that I already use as my journal, but it also has the same sort of limitations that. Um, so what I do right now is I pre-fill the exact date of last week in my journal, and I have a template for my workout routine table, and it doesn't pre-fill anything. I manually add exercises and I manually add reps, which is fine, but I would still prefer something more robust, and I would much prefer something more reliable. And those are my reasons for today's podcast, anyways. And what are yours?
Yeah, I mean, I swore off Excel like way back when we started. I never could get into it. I think if I look at the Excel Android UI, I want to shoot myself in the head. I want to run away crying. I don't want to look at that ugly shit every morning when I go to workout, right? I mean, um, something as simple. I think I talked about entry barrier for video recording. I think there's something similar for productivity apps. If you don't reduce the entry barrier for productivity apps, like, hey, I just want to count my calories, right? I just want to say that, hey, I ate a chicken parmesan today. I ate like some fucking mac and cheese today. How much fatter am I gonna get? If I can't just enter that information into a pretty looking UI, uh, I don't think I'll ever enter that information anywhere. I think this was my major problem with Excel. And I know that you talked about running around with a pen and paper. I don't think I've seen anyone at our gym ever do that. I think we did that when we began because we had no fucking clue what we were doing. But it's one of those things where if it's not easy, then nobody's going to do it. If it's not very pretty looking, nobody's going to fucking care about it. Um, so yeah, I didn't really use Excel, but realized about I think both of us sort of realized around a year and a half or 2 years into seriously lifting that we need a way to measure our progress. I know one of the most important things when we're talking about hypertrophy is um, progression, right? How you're progressing from last week to today. And how the fuck are you going to know if you're progressing if you don't remember what you did last week? If you don't know if you did 40,
Just live
uh,
shit, bro. What is all this science bullshit you're teaching me, huh?
I mean, if you keep lifting heavy shit, it's going to work as well. If you want substantially more gains for the same amount of work, you're gonna need to measure the shit out in a much more in a much better way. So I think one of the things that I tried was workout apps. I tried a lot of the apps on the market.
So this is after getting cut off by Zoom. Yeah, so uh, throughout this podcast, we've been talking about a hypertrophy app, right? We're not talking about a workout tracker. Excel is a workout tracker to some extent. The apps you mentioned, Heavy, Strong, Gym Stro, now recently a new one is out called Stronger. That's a workout tracker. What you do is just make your program, hit the sets, hit the reps, hit the load, and that's done. You're done. You come back next week, you do the same thing. You come back the week after, you do the same thing. But the fundamental difference is that a hypertrophy app understands. It understands and it adapts to your workouts. For example, do you feel sick today? Do you have a bit of a cold? Do you have a bit of a running nose? Are you in the right zone for sickness where you are not too sick, where you feel like you have no energy, but you're also not too sick where you can't feel that you can't work out? You're full of energy. You have the oomph that it takes, but you just have a running nose or you just have a cough, right? A bit of cold, and at the same time you're not so strong that you can't beat last week's numbers. The app is will understand that, and it's going to auto regulate this week's targets to potentially make it an easier session, right? You will still be progressively overloading, but it won't be that much of a margin. So let's say if you do 20 kilos into 10 reps on the incline press, and 20 kg dumbbells is what I'm talking about. It doesn't really matter, but just to make it more specific. Uh, if your target this week was 11 reps, or if your target this week was going up by 2.5 kilos or 1.25 kilos, the progressive overload, if you tell the app that you're sick, you don't feel well, there will be a checkbox or some sort of an option. If you tell the app that you're sick, it's going to reduce the margin to which you have to overload this week, right? So that might mean you might end up doing the same set of 10, but let's say at the bottom you end up pausing, or if your eccentric usually took 2 seconds, now it's going to take 3 seconds, or it's going to take 4 seconds. Small increases like these also contribute to a progressive overload, and this might just be what you need to sustain the session. This might just be what you need to to not overspend today's energy, because you have a day after that, or you have had a day before the workout, depending on which time you go to the gym. And it might also be the case that the app might ask you to potentially try a lower weight and increase an amount of reps, because remember, if you equate to volume load, if you do the load into set and into reps, whatever number you get, you can you can get over that number by also reducing the weight and increasing the number of reps, keeping the sets the same, or maybe increasing the sets. You can play around with these parameters. It doesn't have to be set for set or load for load, right? So the app is going to understand that you're sick, and it's going to suggest or tweak one of these variables to make your session a bit easier for today, to give you a little relaxation, so to say. And of course, if you fail to make even these numbers in the first couple of exercises, it's not okay. You fail to make it in set one. That's fine. Maybe it was just a bad day. Maybe you weren't feeling it. But after first set, you are pretty warmed up for the exercise. If you also fail it in the second set, if you also fail to meet those numbers in the third set, then the app will understand that there is something wrong, because the first exercise is when you're the most fresh. Assuming you did not warm up, or you warmed up to an insufficient extent, that your first set went bad, and then your second set should go better if you warmed up properly in the first set, right? If that, even if the second set also fails to meet the numbers, then the app will understand, and it will simply ask you to finish your workout regardless of the numbers. It will ask you to do whatever you can, just, and it will also reduce the volume by half or by a substantial amount to reduce the overall systemic fatigue you get, while still getting in some work for the gym. And of course, if you feel even sicker after working out, you can simply choose end workout and tell the app that you're sick and skip the week, or skip rest of the week, or whatever you may prefer. The point is that the app understands. Yeah. So as Anwes said, that we don't like to use the term guesswork a lot, like even amongst ourselves, because we've been doing this shit for a while. Like, we've been working out for 3-ish years now, 3.5 maybe. Yeah. And we've gone from the part where we didn't know shit, and we ate fuck all for lunch, we had fuck all for dinner, and we did fuck all at the gym, and we went for 2 fucking years. Thank you. And eventually we got to a point where we crossed the X, we crossed the mark where the shit that did not matter, and we became science bros. We started watching Stronger by Science. We started watching Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is hilarious, by the way. We started watching Dr. Milo and Dr. Pack. Sorry for ruining that name. Of course, we started with Jeff Nippard, and all of these people introduced us to a new world of lifting, where where bros were doing just half fucking reps all day, and spending endless time at the gym. That Jeff Nippard and co, they taught us that you don't need to spend so much time at the gym. You can get a lot done with much less, right? And we've been around these circles a lot. And it's not to say that we're experts, but it's so to say that we're at a point where we believe that we know our shit. So if we take a set, if we have planned 2 sets for Tuesday, 2 sets for Friday, and if we do 2 sets on Tuesday and 1 set on Friday, we have a very good reason for doing that. It's not because we are chickening out. We have gone through these motions to have a work ethic that says, if the program says 2 sets, you better do 2 fucking sets, because anything else is chickening out of it. But if we still decide to do just 1 set that day, it might have a very strong reason, such that maybe our hamstrings are too sore from it maybe if we overdid the workout on Tuesday. Maybe it's just the first week after a long training block, long no training block, right? And so, because there is very little guesswork in our own programs, we don't like using that term. And Dr. Mike uses that a lot. But that's seemingly correct, because a lot of people are just too busy to care. If I tell a few of my friends who aren't Anmesh, if I tell them to, hey, do you want to track your workouts? It's a what? I have to quit the gym now? So yeah, that's the conversation. That's how it's going to start. And hitting the gym is already too hard. Going to the gym is even harder. So if this were the increasing level of difficulty, this is hitting the gym, this is going to the gym, this is preparing to go to the gym, and this is tracking the numbers at the gym. And we hate to say it, but Dr. Mike is right, that it's going to be a lot of guesswork if people who don't want to track, who don't want to go to the gym, do it. And if there were an app that you could just press a few clicks or taps, it's on your phone, so taps, and a program pops out that fits what you want to do. Okay, you want to go to the gym 3 days of the week or 4 days in the week. You want a program that's going to hit one muscle per day. That's great. We don't judge you. You get a program that's perfectly suited for you. You don't like the program? Fuck that. Change the program however you like. The app is going to suggest a few parameters if your program isn't optimal. So let's say if you're going to if you want to hit uh, one muscle per day for one muscle every day for 4 days of the week, and you want to go to the gym 4 days a week, and you do biceps, triceps, legs, and chest. Let's say that's the program. And if you have a ton of volume in biceps, not so much in triceps, and not so much in legs, not so much in chest, it's going to tell you, hey, you might want to consider doing more. And you don't have to listen to it if you know better. But the point is, it's easy. The point is, it's not going to get in your way. The point is, there's not going to be any friction. And even for us, come on, not every day is the same, right? Not every day is so easy, and not every day is it that we're completely in the vibe, we're completely in the psyche to hit the gym, and we're ready to crush weights, right? And even for us, we want something that we, with a few taps, it does the work, and we don't have to care because we know there's somebody else looking out for us. And we want that shit too. But hey, guess what? Do you want to go ahead, Anvish?
Entry in a database. That was pretty weird for me. But yeah, that's one of the sort of setbacks for these apps. I also really disliked how uh, neither of these apps you could sort of just you go to the gym, you feel like, hey, today I'll start recording my sets. You install, let's say, Strong, and you're all fucking pumped up. I'm gonna fucking do this today. I got this, and you think you're gonna start tracking all your workouts. You install Strong, you open Strong, it asks you to fucking sign in, and that's just
That
it. It
sucks.
just
That
it
sucks. Yeah.
just fucks it just fucks with my brain so much. Whenever an app, like if I install an app, I want to see what the app is like before I sign in, before I know I need to sign in. Why am I fucking signing in? It's just if I'm just tracking my workout, right? And a lot of these apps do that. They just ask you to sign in the first uh the moment that you open the app. And Heavy does this in a weirded way, because once you install Heavy and you sign into Heavy, you are greeted with sort of an Instagram looking interface where it's like a very social media heavy interface. You're sort of looking at other people posting their workouts and stuff, which I understand that this is just, again, an opinion that I have and not an objective setback. But that's not what I'm looking for when I'm looking to track a workout. I understand that we might also want to do some sort of integration with users using the app, and I know that it adds to motivation when you see somebody else working out, and then it sort of makes you want to work out more. But I think this can be done in a lot more subtle ways. And yeah, these are just some of the problems that I had with these apps. I think I've rambled on for long enough. I'll let Gopal talk about these again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, just to add to one of your points that the the free trial of the RP Hypertrophy app, there's none, of course, but the $35 per month stings even more because a month might not be how long your mesocycle lasts. A
Mhm.
month, you might take 5 weeks. And okay, yeah, fuck mesocycles. You get to know the app better when you see it auto adapting to your sets. And I don't think that you can make it within a month. And I'm not saying that um, I'm not saying that free trials should be longer than that. I'm saying that especially when you pay for something that's a lot in India at least, and you don't get to see the app's best features even. So that kind of sucks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I thought about while you were speaking. By the way, sorry guys. I guess some of our segment was just still. That's because OBS forgot to restart the capture, so it was just me
Oh,
like this.
technical issues again.
It was just like me like this, and he I don't know what he was doing. So yeah, that's like the first 15 minutes of the segment. So sorry guys. So yeah, what I was saying is that I fixed it, by the way. I guess I fixed it. Otherwise, it's just like this. Anyways,
Oh, fuck.
yeah.
Caught with a dicks in his hands.
Yeah. So now what I was saying is that there needs to be demo data. If we're going to put out a trial, there has to be demo data. People need to see how the fucking app works. So newbies, they don't give a shit. They sign up, they go for the free trial, they see how the app works, they don't know what is what. Great, it's done. It's enough for them. But for people like potentially you and me, 1 month isn't sufficient for us to see how the app adapts to our workouts. So this is especially useful if we have some kind of a demo data. Maybe we can feed it a CSV or some kind of a JSON from our existing workouts, or maybe just some dummy data, right? And the
Yeah.
you could see the app in action about how it changes things around. That would be really nice. And I don't think any app does that. Any hypertrophy app does that in the market. And
Yeah.
that is something I would like to see. I would genuinely like to have in my everyday. Uh, yeah, I uh, while all of this talk about making a hypertrophy app, we are aware of the XKCD meme. We are aware of the meme that goes, so for those of you who aren't aware, I'll just
Just put it on the screen.
yeah, I'll just put it on the screen so you guys can see. Yeah, this is the meme. Here's a closer look. Yeah, this is the meme. Anyways, and there we go. Yeah. So what was I saying? I was saying that
The
we are aware of the XKCD meme, and we are aware that we are talking about something, and we are shipping ideas that don't exist. We are sitting on a pile of money that hasn't been made. We're shooting ducks that haven't been born.
I think we get
What
the
else do I
point.
have? What else do I have? We're watching movies that haven't been made. We are
Do you
seeing our
want to talk
YouTube
about the movie that
income.
we did make?
What?
Do you want to talk about the movie that we did make?
Anyways, never mind. So we're just looking at our YouTube subscribers that aren't there. That's how is it? Yeah. Anyways, so we are aware that this might come off as a lot of talk about nothing, right? And but that's something for the future to clear up. And we know there are obvious shortcomings with us, not even with the fucking app that does not exist. There are shortcomings with respect to us, and it's time and experience. Um, we're just two guys, and two guys with no fucking experience making mobile apps. Hey, I don't have my phone is recording right now. Otherwise, I'll show. We both have fucking Androids, and we want to make a fucking iOS app. That's how inexperienced we are. We have never fucking used the iOS platform or iPhone or an iPad. I recently got one, but Anwish has never used. He has used it for other people, of course, from other people. But the point is that we have no fucking hands-on experience with iOS. And fair enough, you wouldn't exactly call this a great start. And coming back to iOS, why iOS? We have both been long-time Apple haters. Um, there was a shop called iDestiny in Esplanade in Bhubaneswar, where Anish and I used to walk past every single time we had to watch a movie. We used to go up. I used to look at the fucking store. I'd say, "Fuck that store, man. Fuck it. We're never going to get that shit. We're never going to spend money like that." I'm recording this on a MacBook. So that's
Yeah, I think
how
our
in a circle I've come, and him too. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, I think our perspectives changed once we got the MacBooks. I mean, I wouldn't really say getting one device is getting into the Apple ecosystem, but it sort of entices you because the MacBook is a great product in and itself. Well, at least the Apple Silicon MacBooks. But I think what excited us about potentially more Apple devices in the future is the fact that these apps are fucking gorgeous. And I think I segued into your next point. I think you were going to
Yeah,
talk about
yeah, yeah,
uh, like app quality and UI. So I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
segued into that.
yeah. So what Anvesh is trying to say is that we are fascinated by how good Apple apps look. Now today I was arguing with some idiot on the internet, and guys, please don't waste your time arguing with idiots on the internet. Hey, you like to use Linux? That's great. You like to use Windows? That's great. You hate macOS? That's fucking great. I don't have a horse in that race. I don't give a fuck. I like what I use. I'll continue to like what I use. You like what you use, and you'll continue to do the same. So let's not fucking argue on the internet about something that does not fucking matter. Computing is all about preference, and that's all it is. Do what floats your boat. Anyways, and yeah, to go back to the point where I was arguing with an idiot on the internet, where you said, yeah, you have to pay a premium for the Apple apps anyway, so it's going to be premium. My point is, why not? Why not? If you can, if you don't pay and you get half-assed apps, and oh, reactions again, unintended but cool. Yeah. So if you pay for a premium and you get a premium experience, if you ever open the Apple Mail app, if you ever open the Apple Reminders app, if you ever open the fuck, you can just open the system settings. It looks so good, and we've been long time Windows and Linux users, and we love sick UIs. We didn't know that we loved sick UIs, right? And we have sort of come back to it and come around it. And we love when we see a UI that entices us to get in there and just explore all sorts of things. And UI is what we want our app selling point to be. It just looks so damn good. You don't want to, you don't want to look for, okay, this app I downloaded, it's pretty good. Let's go to their other app that App Store was suggesting. No, our app is so good that you at least try making a single routine or choosing a pre-selected one, pre-made one, right? And we want that to be a selling point because we've been really inspired by how good Apple apps look. And even not to say just that the first party apps look good, because there are so many third party apps for macOS that look absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. And we both work day jobs, and this is going to be a weekend and after hours project, and it's only going to go well if we manage time and collaboration right. If he works for half a week and I work for the next half of a week, that does not that does not fucking make sense. We have to put in the time and effort needed to get this done. So again, to be fair, these words might mean nothing, and this might be some abandoned YouTube channel in some film in 2099 playing this exact scene for comedy, just to be meta. Yeah,
I want to play that
and
fucking movie we made as the background score for this.
yeah, guys, we
Me
made a movie,
talking
but we never
fucking
made a movie. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Prakriti
People.
Anwes.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm talking about. It just could be a waste. This podcast could be a waste of fucking time. Go home, guys. Podcast is done. You've wasted enough time if you've made it till this point. Yeah, yeah, man. So before we descend further onto that pessimism, I just want to talk about some ideas and hopes we have for the app. Or do you want to go into that, Anvesh?
Yeah, sure. I can
Yeah, yeah,
take that
sure.
over.
Okay.
So, I think one of the most we've fucking again we've talked about this enough, but it's one of the most basic features of the app. It's a workout tracker. You use it to track your workouts. I don't think I can dumb it down anymore. I think this is better. It might suit us better to talk about the more advanced features that we really do want to have in the app. I don't know if they will be in the app in the final app or not, but just hopes, right? So I think the first one would be um, Apple Watch integration. Definitely want to have that. If I know that lot of people, my sister included, when they're working out, they have their Apple Watches on. They're using it to see their calories. My sister, by the way, love her. I fucking love her. But she wouldn't walk on a treadmill if she doesn't have her Apple Watch on. Once we were taking a walk downstairs, I just thought, yeah, we'll go down, we'll take a walk, have the fresh air on our fucking hair and everything. She stopped walking because her Apple Watch died. This is how seriously some people take it. So I think having that on your wrist is really convenient. If you can just sort of tap a few buttons here and add your set. Let's say you're doing bench press and you're just fucking exhausted after your set. You just tap a button. You already entered data in your phone. It just crosses that off, ticks that off. That hey, I've done this. This is how long I have to rest. Gives you a nice little rest timer on your watch. That would be sick. Um, I think a few more features would be. Um, I suppose. Hmm. I remember we talked about the uh, I remember we talked about pre-made programs. So sort of have our own routine set in the program, and you can either choose the ones that we've made, the pre-made popular splits that we've designed, inspired by the science of Jeff Nippard and Dr. Mike, or you could sort of choose to make your own. And this should also solve the issue that I had with those fucking apps. I think it's probably not a good idea to shit on apps when we haven't even made ours, but it's
All
fuck
in
those
good fun,
apps.
guys. We love you. We love you.
No, fuck them apps. You can add
We
as
love you
many
guys.
as
Please don't sue
many
us.
routines. You can add as many routines as you want for tracking your workouts. Definitely as many exercises as you want, because I don't want to charge people to add the new exotic Brazilian isolateral, sumo lateral bicep pull down that they found, right? Um, there's going to be no ads, no nagware, no sort of first time sign up screens, sign in screens. You're guided by a welcome screen. You can sort of choose to see it. You can skip it if you want. You have instructions if you want them. If not, whatever. That's up to you, right? And the I know we haven't talked about the pricing of the app yet, but there's obviously going to be a free tier and a premium tier, but not a shit one like those apps. Fuck them apps. So the premium tier of this app, of our Hypertrophy app, is the Hypertrophy app. The free tier is just the workout tracker, but it's a fully functional workout tracker. There's no restrictions on it. There's no stupid little tricks that we pulled that hey, you can't add this. This is you can only do this if you pay for the app. No, you can add whatever the fuck you want. You can't use the app to sort of suggest you to do things, tell you to do things. That's in the paid version. But the premium version is just if you really want those features, it's extra features. And obviously, we'll have to have some sort of a sign in for the premium, but it's a one time sign in, and you can probably sign in with your Apple ID or some other form of authentication.
Yeah, yeah. Just to add there that the sign in is just for your license, and if you don't want to use sync, you don't have to.
Yeah, for sync, it's I think we talk about this like in private as well, but it's the app is local first, and sync is not really uh, what we planned.
Okay, we got cut off again because
Zoom
Zoom
hates
and we're
us.
two poor Indians, guys. No
Fucking
racism, but
racist.
we are Indians. We can, yeah, yeah. Anyways, so what were you saying? You were talking about cloud, no cloud bullshit, and local first.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Local first, no cloud bullshit. Um, we really like cloud apps too, until I used Notion. I mean, until both of us. I mean, we both fucking love Notion for a time,
Yeah, yeah.
and once you use Notion for a while, we're using Notion for this video as well, but once you use Notion for a while, you realize how bad cloud products could be. There was once a Notion outage. Neither of us could access our notes for like the better part of 2.5 hours or something. I had a meeting with a client at the time. All my fucking notes are in Notion. How am I gonna see my fucking notes? It was it was a nightmare, and I just want to avoid situations like that. And it's also that I don't want to deal with people's data. If I don't have your data, I can't fuck it up. uh, we I think these are some of the few reasons that both of us moved to solutions like Obsidian for note taking. We want to have our own data with us, right? You could use Obsidian Sync if you want, but it's really up to you, and that's sort of the solution that we want to have with our app as well. We want to give you a cloud storage solution if you want, but it's your cloud storage, it's your iCloud, it's your Google Drive, wherever you want to put it. Let's say web dev if you want, wherever you want to put it, but it's your cloud storage. It's not up to us. It's managed by you, it's owned by you. So that covers data. I think I think that's pretty much it from my side when it comes to features. If you want to talk about how we got inspired for this app, how we sort of started looking into making the app a reality.
Yeah, sure, sure. Just before, one thing before
Yeah.
that is that what Anwish has described, choosing your own cloud. mm, it's it's something Strongbox does, by the way. It's a KeePass client, and it's great. It's kind of a pseudo open source product, but it's really beautiful and it's really great. So you can check that out. And we 100% intend to make our app work that way, in the sense that the app will give you a few options, or several options depending on how our development goes, to store your data. So it could be as easy as iCloud, Google Drive, whatever he said, right? Yeah, yeah. So we've dabbled here and there for the inspiration, but at the same time, we didn't have to look really far and wide. We The truth of the matter is that we don't really have a suitable solution right now to something that auto adapts to our workouts. All the bullshit that we talk about. There isn't one right now that you or I could use. And I think the best apps are made from problems that you face and you decide to solve. And we've been going to the gym for a long time now, and it's boring if you don't actively put effort into it. In the beginning, yeah, sure, in the beginning it's great if you see changes. If you want to lose weight, you're losing weight so easily. Hey, you're gaining muscle so easily. But if you don't progress meaningfully, if you don't put in the work after a given point of time, where the newbie effect is gone, you might not see what you like, or you might not like what you see, right? And that's what we are getting at. It's teeny tiny bit little easier to actively have a feedback loop in your head that, okay, I might not be gaining muscle. It might not seem like I gained any muscle this week, But for sure, I know my chest got stronger. For sure, I know my legs got stronger. If you train legs, I for sure know my back got stronger, right? And in the first 2 hours of our lifting, we, as we already said, that we did fuck all. We just did went fuck all, right? And our trainers just had us do 200 squats, 100 push-ups, whatever, right? And these are not real squats, and these are not real push-ups. These are just fake ass push-ups to strive for a number that does not matter. Hey bro, I did 200 squats. No, who the fuck is going to believe you? Who is actually going to take you serious that you actually did 200 squats? And that just hurt our knees. And a few months later, we knew better and we had our own routines. But these lack discipline. If you have someone accounting for all the other factors, telling you, okay, this week you need to push yourself, but you don't have to push yourself ultra hard. You have to push for a teeny tiny bit. One rep here, a plate here, That's it. That's all you need to do. The gym becomes a lot more fun. Okay, I have these challenges to do in the gym. I'm not going to the gym on autopilot. I have these challenges that are set. These might not be such big challenges that, okay, I'm constantly thinking about them. Oh man, I need to do one more rep. I need to rest. I need to do it properly. I need to rest. I need to not take too much stress. It's killing my gains. Not like that, but it's the progressive overload. The challenge is little enough that it stays within the range of you going to the gym and getting out of it. And that way, the gym becomes a more fun and engaging place. And we live far apart. We don't live. Um, he lives in Bhubaneswar. I live in Delhi. Um, we don't have each other. We don't even go to the gym at the same time. And since we don't have a gym buddy, it's great to have somebody, to push us harder when we can't do it ourselves. And that's something that, that's food for thought. That's great food for thought. And for the existing area of apps that obviously inspired us, it's just we've just primarily pivoted from the Dr. Mike's RP Hypertrophy app, which is the closest to what we want to build. But neither him nor I could afford it. We've learned a shit ton of knowledge from Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike has a lot. The channel name is Renaissance Periodization, by the way. If you want to go check it out, the channel has a lot of good shit. He has a crazy upload streak. He uploads every single day without fail. And his advice on lifting is very simple and really exceptional. And we want to take learning from these people like Dr. Mike, Jeff Nipper, Dr. Wolf, and many more. And we want to put it all together with the app. And if one day, if Dr. Mike could bless us, we could have some of his Lambos. We could have one of his Lambos.
I think we
You
just
could,
won
you,
Lambos.
yeah, you could have a foot on the pedal. I could not the pedal, the acceleration. I have never driven cars. I don't know what is it called. Do you put your foot on the wheel? I guess you put your foot on the wheel. Yeah, I guess that's how cars work. Anyways, but we want a fucking Lambo maybe one day. And it's not such a bad goal to aspire to. Dr. Mike has so many. Why can't he give us just one?
You could share one. I don't mind sharing with you.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good segue to talk about how we're going to afford these Lambos
Yeah, sure,
and
sure, sure.
start talking
Go ahead.
about pricing and platforms. Where
Yeah.
do we want to sort of? Okay, we get it. You wanna build a fucking app. Who cares? Move
Yeah,
on, right?
dude.
But
Imagine somebody watching saying, dude, 1 hour and all they talk about is building
just building an
single app. They haven't built it yet. They're talking about they wasted my 1 hour of my fucking time. This is not what I do cardio for.
there's some imagine somebody saying, "Hey, this looks fun." These are two guys talking about an app that they built, and an hour into it, they realize they haven't fucking built it yet. But yeah, we haven't, but we plan on building it for iOS. We wanna become iPhone fucking Steve Jobs' little servants.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, we talked about it. We like Apple devices. We really think that the Apple design ecosystem is a lot better, is a lot more sane. And we really like how Swift UI looks, how Swift works, and we really want to learn it. So that's another primary motivation that we have. So we're releasing it for iPhones. We're hopefully releasing it for iPhones. Um, I don't want to legally bind us, but have
2099.
I,
Hey.
yeah. But yeah, neither of us owns an iPhone yet, but we plan on doing it. We plan on owning and releasing it. Uh, uh, Honestly, we've fucking hated Apple for as long as I can remember. I mean, Gopal spent half of his life and all of his hair trying to convert people to go into FOSS software and use Arch Linux. By the way, I use Arch Linux, but I think again, all of that changed the moment we got our MacBooks. We started tinkering with it, and we started like using the apps that people built with it, and we saw that we didn't know fuck all about UI. This is what good UI looks like. This is what beautiful design looks like. And yeah, I know you talked about it a little bit earlier that these apps that you got into an argument with some internet idiot, and that these apps come at a premium and all that. But I mean, I would much rather pay for a product that I like. Uh, Again, so I guess now we're gonna talk about how you can pay us. So the
So,
premium version of the app, if you want to talk about that, Gopal.
yeah, sure, sure, sure. Yeah, so before I talk about the app's pricing itself, I have one more useless analogy to make. So people on the treadmill, this is your chance to get out. Yeah. So it's I follow a channel called Johnny and Yusuf. They are these online coaching trainer guys who have really excellent advice. By the way, you should go check them out. It's called Johnny and Yusuf. Okay. So he made a video about TickTick. TickTick is the task manager Anwes and I use. People on Reddit argue about what how expensive $35 per year is. That is too much money for a to-do list. But instead of spending those $35, they're on autopilot, meaning whatever comes to their head, they do it. Whatever is the back of their brain, they do it. And this approach makes you seem like you're doing work, but the aspect of prioritizing things is just nowhere. And you know what's even more intriguing? TickTick is regionally priced, meaning that if it's $35 in the US, it's 1400 INR in India. That is crazy affordable for a lot of people. It's crazy affordable for a lot of people in India. And time is important. Time is how we make this fucking app, by managing time. And if you can pay pay a reasonable amount which you think is right, realistically think is right, that fits within your budget, is not asking for too much. Sorry. And if you can pay to get shit done faster, why don't you? Why won't you? If you can pay a little more to up your experience of life by up the experience of life by a lot, then why don't you? It 1400 INR is like a dinner with friends in Delhi. It's a lunch with friends in Bhubaneswar as well. So why not? And as we said, we don't want a reasonably high price for this app. And we know we're just talking about an app that doesn't exist yet, but we want to have a very reasonable free tier that doesn't treat people like doormats and whatever. With it's a free tier in name, and you can only do these little things about it that are not actually useful. And as Anwes said, we are going to make it for Apple devices only. So iPhone first. and our idea is to make it $10 monthly, $10 monthly subscription, which I think is very affordable for the US EU folks. And obviously this is going to be regionally priced, so people in India would have a much lower price. I don't know what the exact purchase parity power, I think it's called PPP, is. So yeah, obviously in India it will be a lot less, it will be a lot more affordable, and free version will be completely free. It will have no ads, no annoying paywalls. If you want to get to the next level of your training, you pay. If you just want to use it as the exercise tracker, you want to do the math yourself, if you just like our UI, if you just like the pre-made templates, suit yourself, we won't bother you. Yeah. So the last topic, do you mind if I take this?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as we have said several times here, that we're just daydreaming, and this is something we've been consistent throughout the podcast. It just might be our brains taking a holiday, and the brains are in Hawaii, and we come so far to make this podcast and talk publicly, bullshit publicly for an hour. But you know what? I don't like that version of the world. I don't think Anwish likes that version of the world. We both want to make this happen. We both hit the gym several times a week, 5 days a week. Sometimes 4, sometimes 5. It's mostly 5, but not important. But since joining it a few years ago, it has really changed our lives for the better.
Yeah.
I used to be a fat ass with with a beard that looked like, I don't know what abomination you could call. I don't
Let's
know.
just say that you used to look like a fucking terrorist out there.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so I wasn't in the best shape of my life. Anvesh was in the best shape of his life. And in those first few years, first couple of years, we didn't know shit. We were guided by trainers who thought they knew shit. We were told things that are completely antithetical to the goals in the gym. Who the fuck has you do 30 minutes of cardio and then 200 squats and then the workout begins? Oh, no. The 200 squats aren't enough. Yeah, sorry. And we wasted 2 years in the gym like that, just fucking around.
Yeah.
And we don't like that being the reality for anybody else. Or even if you're reborn, imagine us being reborn and we're discovering our own app and like, shit. And we get a magical coupon code saying, hey, lifetime free. Is the lifetime meta? We'll never know. Yeah. And we don't like that being the reality. Life is already so hard. It's already so fucking hard to be consistent, do this, to do that. Why must tracking our workouts be? As well. And
Yeah.
just we are putting it in public because it makes it a lot more harder for us to ditch this. We already want it, and since we're talking publicly, it's on the wild seas. It makes us want it even more. And we need to remember why we want to do this, what our goals are, and what we aim to achieve at the end of it. We would really love to make this app a reality, and it's going to take a lot of time. Probably more than what he and I think combined. But hey, we are both big fans of Atomic Habits, and you might have read Atomic Habits, and you know that getting 1% in today, getting that 1% work in today, is all that should matter, for better or for worse. Do you have any thoughts and ideas, Anvesh?
I think that was a very sweet ending to the podcast. But honestly, I stopped listening the moment you said putting it out there in public makes it a lot harder to ditch it. All I could think about since then was that you make me a lot harder. And
Oh,
I just had to get that out of my system.
oh. Do you know what else is sweet?
No, we're not going
And
there.
we see you, YouTube, next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, guys.